Hello, friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Your Health Matters. I have a few thoughts I'd like to share today about choices. Do you know that every choice you make matters? And also want to talk a little bit about living a life of meaning, purpose, kindness, and presence. When we talk about choices, there are a lot of things we do every day, a lot of decisions we make, and some of these are very small decisions, but they're powerful. They can be very powerful. They can change our direction and our trajectory because every choice matters. The show is called Your Health Matters. Your choices matter. So we'll go a little deeper than health tips. I want to talk about how every single choice we make shapes our lives, our relationships, and the legacy we live behind. Every word we speak, every bite we take, every moment of silence or presence, these are not just passing seconds. These are seeds. Seeds that bloom into our character, our health, and the world that we leave for others. So you might be thinking, does that little choice really matter? The answer is a resounding yes. The donut you ate instead of a nourishing meal. The decision to hold a grudge instead of offering forgiveness. Yeah, I'm guilty of all these things. From the donut to the grudge. Or the choice to scroll mindlessly instead of having a real conversation, because they all add up. We're human. We get caught up in things sometimes. But let's dig deeper into, let's say, our health, our mindset, and our relationships, where we can see they're built on daily choices. What we eat, how we move, how much we move, who we surround ourselves with, and how we speak to ourselves, as well as others. How we speak to ourselves, folks, is so important. Self-deprecation. I have to tell you, folks, it's not a healthy thing to be doing. We can do it in a joking sense. You got to be careful you're not doing it too much in that way, because you might start to believe yourself. Even the smallest decisions, taking a walk, drinking water, offering a kind word to another, these create ripple effects. A smile can change someone's entire day. A random act of kindness or a kind gesture can lift someone out of despair. You never know the impact you can have. A simple decision to show up and show up fully can shape the direction of your life. Let's talk for a moment about neuroplasticity. This is a big word with a powerful meaning. Our brains are constantly rewiring based on our thoughts and our actions. Every time you make a better decision, your brain builds new connections. You're not just changing your day, you're literally reshaping your brain. And if I was to share a quote here from the brilliant Pepe Soho, each moment offers us the miracle of choice. In it lies the seed of transformation. You're never stuck. You're never powerless. And your past does not define your future. We have to get our past out of our future, because the future's not here, and you get to choose what it is, because every moment is a clean slate. Even one better choice today, just one, sets the foundation for a better tomorrow. So what will your next choice be? Free will and choosing thoughts. These are things that we can do. We have free will. We can choose our thoughts. Granted, it's easier said than done a lot of times. We often feel like life happens to us. But that's not the full story, my friends. While we cannot always control our circumstances, we can choose how we respond to them. Think about this. Our thoughts shape our emotions. Our emotions drive our actions. Our actions shape the outcome of our lives, the outcomes of our lives. That means it all starts with our thoughts. One of the most empowering things we can do is recognize that we are not our thoughts. Okay? We are not our thoughts. We have to realize this. We are thinkers of our thoughts. And that means we have the ability to pause, observe, and choose a new perspective. It all comes back to choices. And this is how we move from being victims of our thoughts to masters of our mindset. The brilliant Pepe Soho says it so beautifully. Real freedom is not out there, it's within. It begins when we choose how we perceive the world. So here's a challenge for you. Catch just one negative thought today, just one, and then pause, breathe, then reframe it and speak to yourself like someone you love. You know that a lot of us worry. We're just natural born worriers, I could say, for myself. My parents worried a lot, a lot of people worry. But a long time ago, one of my mentors in life taught me that he said, Karl, you worry too much. Your anxiety is too high. Do you know that 90% of what you worry about never happens? So do you know that the research shows that over 90% of what we worry about never actually happens? Think about all the energy we spend on the what ifs. What if this? What if that? Well, worrying is like paying interest on a debt you don't owe. It steals your peace, it hijacks your health, and it clouds your decision making. Chronic worrying can lead to stress-related illness, fatigue, and it can even impact our relationships. When we worry, we are not present. We are not connected. We aren't truly living, because living happens in the now. Living life happens in the now, not the past that's gone and the future's not here. It happens now. This is where mindfulness becomes our anchor. Pepe Soho also says we imprison ourselves with imagined fears. The present moment holds the key to liberation. So next time you're caught in a spiral of worry, ask yourself, is this fear real right now? Or is it a movie I'm playing in my head? I've done it 1,000,000 times. To no avail. There's nothing going on that's actually bad. But I'm imagining as if something bad is happening. So we need to come back to our breath, come back to our senses, and come back to the now. In the United States, where I live, we're in a state of division. I would say since the inauguration of the President Trump, we were divided before it. We're probably more divided than ever right now. I won't state anything about my political opinions other than to say very to the right, the left is very to the left, and we're not anywhere close to meeting in the middle. We are divided. So let's talk about this. Our country and world feels more divided than ever before, politically, socially, spiritually. But do you know kindness? Kindness does not need you to pick a side. Kindness is a revolutionary act in a time of division. Kindness disarms anger. It invites connection. It opens doors where walls once stood. We have to move beyond the shouting matches and beyond the social media wars. We need to start listening, not to reply, but to understand. So that starts with you, and it starts with me. Pepe Soho said, peace begins in the heart. When we choose kindness, we change the world without raising our voice. So here's your challenge. Do a random act of kindness today. But not just any act. Make it meaningful. It has to mean something, or else it means nothing. So do something meaningful. Better yet, extend kindness to someone you disagree with. That's where the true growth happens. With that, I would say, I live a life of service. I didn't for the first 58 years. I'm going to be 64. Well, guess what? I found my faith. Yes, I'm a devout Catholic. I feel grateful and blessed. Let's be honest. The culture of me is everywhere. And yet, the most fulfilled people I know are those who give. A self-centered life isolates us, but a life of service connects us. Serving others improves our mental health. It reduces loneliness. It reminds us that we are not alone, that we are needed. Look at spiritual teachers, from Jesus to Dalai Lama to Mother Teresa. What do they all have in common? Service, humility, compassion. Pepe Soho, I'm quoting today because I was there last week in Mexico City and I went through his immersive art exhibit, and it was the most life-transforming experience I have ever had outside of my faith. Pepe reminds us that in helping others heal, we find our own wholeness. So here are a few ideas. Check in on a neighbor. Maybe offer encouragement to someone online. Maybe you're in a group, a chat, a support group. Volunteer at a local shelter. Share your time, your talents, share your presence. You don't need to be perfect to serve. You just need to show up. Being present, all right, the power of the here and now is beyond anything that we can possibly measure. You see, the past is gone. You don't have that ever again, and the future hasn't happened, so you don't have it. So all we truly have is the present moment. But most of us, yes, myself included, not as much lately, but in my life, yes, I live somewhere else. The past, the future, dwelling on the future, worrying about it. We dwell on that we cannot change, or we stress about what we cannot predict. Right? So living in the now is something I've learned from a dear friend, Laura, in Mexico. She has really just refined it down to 2 words. Live now. It's all you have. When my mom passed, I had 6 days of beautiful connection with her. And the presence, it was amazing. Presence is a skill, and it can be practiced, okay? Try breathwork, sensory awareness, meditation. Even a mindful walk in nature can anchor you in the moment. Mindful living reduces anxiety. It boosts happiness, and it increases compassion. Pepe says, the now is sacred. It is where peace resides, where healing begins, and where joy is born. Let's do a quick presence practice together. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. If you're driving, don't do this. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your heartbeat. Let the moment hold you. Because when you do things like feel your feet on the floor, I bet you weren't thinking about that until I asked you to please feel your feet on the floor, and now you're there, you're more in the now. You can do this all throughout the day. Bring yourself back to the now. Let the moment hold you. I say oftentimes to people, we want to live a life with no regrets. Well, I have regrets, but I've come to peace with them, and I've made my apologies, and I'm trying to do the right things. But on your dying day, what do you want to be feeling? Pride, peace, love, or regret? Bronnie Ware, a hospice nurse, compiled the top regrets of the dying. They didn't regret working too little. They regretted not being true to themselves. and not expressing love and not letting themselves be happy. Regret often comes not from what we did, but from we did not do out of fear. And remember that 90% of the things we fear never actually happen. So what's holding us back? You're holding yourself back, and I've held myself back. To live without regret, we must align with love, truth, and the courage to be ourselves. So ask yourself, if this was your last day alive, your last day of consciousness, would you be proud of how you lived today? And if you can hear this, you still have time, because today is a blank canvas. So you can paint it the way you wish for it to be. And in closing, I think a lot about leading by example. All right. We wrap this all together. We have to take responsibility for our choices. We live in a time where too many people are pointing the fingers, blaming the left blames the right blames the left. Politicians on both sides they avoid accountability. This happens all throughout life, not just politics. But we can't be this way, and this cannot be us. We can lead differently with humility, empathy, and action by example. Love, compassion, and empathy are not abstract ideals. They can be our daily mission. Pepe Soho says, the world does not need more critics, it needs light bearers. So choose to be the light. Let's be the light. Let's lead by example. Let's live so that on our final day, we can say with peace, I gave, I loved, and I tried. In my closing call to action, I say, let's lead with love. Let's live in the now. Let's be remembered, not for what we said, but for how we made others feel. Think about how others make you feel. And when you find that person who makes you feel great, maybe you want to act like that towards somebody else. All right, because people remember they may not remember much about you, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. So thanks for joining me today on Your Health Matters. Remember, every choice you make today can lead to a healthier, more loving, more meaningful life. My name's Karl Sterling. Until next time, remember, your health truly matters. Move your body, use your brain every single day, friends. See you next week.